All right, so today we are going to be looking at editing and hosting video. We're going to be looking at a couple of different apps and options that you have, but specifically we'll look at adding and editing video clips, adding a soundtrack, and then where to host your videos and how to do that. Let's talk about some video editing. I am on the Campbell County High School Tech Talks page, and from here I'm going to scroll down to this link that says training. I'm going to click on it. So it actually says teacher training if you look at it, but I didn't scroll down far enough. All right, so the teacher training comes up and I'm going to click on the video editing and hosting link. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to give you all some information about the actual process of this before I dump into the nitty-gritty. But I've got information about iMovie right here. If you're doing some editing on your iPad or on your Mac, this is a great tutorial that will walk you through the basics of it. The reason I'm not doing a video on this is because I only have an iPad, and screencast on an iPad is a little bit more complicated than it is on a PC. So watch this. This person knows what they're talking about. The things I'm about to go over with Movie Maker are very similar to iMovie, and once you understand one, you can look for those same features in another one, and it's pretty, I mean, they're not exactly the same, but they do similar things. So I'm going to scroll down here to Movie Maker 10. And I put a link in here so that you can actually connect to the free download site for Movie Maker 10 that I use. All right, so once you follow that link, you can see that it directs you to the actual Movie Maker website. This is the Microsoft site, so that's how you know you're not going to be downloading something that may harm your computer. But if you come down here, you can see that you can get Movie Maker 10 for free. This used to be an app that was pushed out on most computers that ran Windows, but it's not as widely available right now just because a lot of folks are downloading more intensive video editing software, and so the call for it wasn't as much. But for our purposes, this is a great app to use. You can get a free version, or you can pay something like maybe $20 a year or something like that for a paid version. That's up to you on what you plan on doing with your videos, but I would recommend just downloading the free one until you come to a place where you're like, you know what, I could really use additional tools here, and then upgrade. So basically you'll just click on Get, you'll follow the instructions to open it on your computer, and you will be set. Before I walk you through how to use Movie Maker, I actually want to talk to you for a second about video hosting and discuss the difference between video sharing and streaming, and then link sharing sites. You have several options available to you for free, but I want to just sort of make you think about what your purposes are. If you want to just be able to send a video out to students, you don't mind if they have to download it to their device, which usually takes a couple minutes. They're not able to just click on it and stream it. Then you probably want something like a link sharing site, which is this over here. Basically, all it does is you upload your video, your MP4, to a site where it creates a link to that file. And just like any file that you would upload, the students would then have to download it in order to be able to access it. It does take a few minutes, and of course, they do have to download it to their device, which takes memory on their device. So the other thing is a video sharing or streaming site. Basically, video sharing platforms like YouTube, TeacherTube, etc. allow you to still give students a link to videos, but they're able to watch it on the site. The site hosts it, and so it doesn't take up any of their time to download it, and or it doesn't take up any of their memory to store it on their device. So I use YouTube, as you know, so I do a video sharing site. However, if you prefer not to create a YouTube or TeacherTube account, just keep in mind you have access to your OneDrive, and also if you have a Google account, you can do the same with Google Drive. You can upload your MP4s, your finished videos, to these sites, and you'll get a link for sharing Just keep in mind that if you use either of these, they're not going to be streaming sites, so the students will have to download them. If they have really slow download speeds, it's going to take them a while. And then, of course, like I said, it's going to take up room on their PC or their device. So think about those things as you work. The last two I want to talk about, so let me scroll down a little bit. All right, so those are TeacherTube and YouTube. TeacherTube is basically YouTube Lite. It is lots of educational videos just for teachers and students so that they don't have to worry about whether or not the content is explicit or safe. So you can create a TeacherTube account, and once you do that, you can upload, share the video links with students and have them stream from there. Or if you prefer to create a YouTube account, some of you might already even have one, you are able to upload and stream video from there. You do need to keep in mind, however, that because YouTube is a public platform and it does not require you to create an account to view videos, that if you upload copyrighted material, there's a chance that that will get removed, and or they will add ads to your video. So for example, one time I used a song that I loved as the background to my video, and the next thing I knew, YouTube was adding ads to my video, and you know, students were like, why is there an ad on here? Well, that's because I messed up and had something that was copyrighted material stuck on my video. So just keep in mind that you are going to have to worry about copywritten materials. You're not allowed to use copywritten materials at all on TeacherTube. So just keep in mind that anything you create does have to be your own content. So if you have any questions about hosting, just let me know. All right, so this is what Movie Maker looks like once you've downloaded it and opened it. The first thing you want to do once you're ready to create your project is click on Create New Project. So that will pull up Movie Maker so that you can begin to import your videos. All right, notice it's loading, and it's about to give me the option to add clips and import my files. So I am going to be working on some video that I shot for our Cougars Coffee Talk with Miss Bain and Miss Ayers. And so I've already got several clips that I'm going to add in, and I want to show you what that looks like. So first of all, I'm just going to come over here and click on Add Clip. And you have some options here. You can choose to add it at the current position if you're trying to add clips in between other clips, the beginning of the project or the end of the project. What's great about this is even if you upload all of them at once and they're out of order, you can still drag and drop and change the order for them. But for the purposes of this, I'm going to add the new clip at the beginning of the project, and I'm going to click on a photo or video. All right, so my videos folder automatically comes up. You may have to open a certain folder, but I know that I want to upload these 4 image videos that are right here in the middle. And so, actually there's 5 of them. So what I'm going to do is I am going to select the first one, and then I'm going to hold down my Shift key. And I'm going to select the last one, and look, it actually selects all of them for me. So that's one way to upload all of the files you want, or you can click away from it and select one of the files and hit Control. And if you hit Control instead of Shift, that's going to select individual files instead of all the files in between, etc. And so you can see I can add or subtract things in different orders. So I'm going to grab those files that I want and get those uploaded. This is what it looks like as you are importing the data. Notice this is importing and importing metadata. So it takes it a minute if you select more than one files, but I have 3 files here. I know I said 4, but I really meant 3. And then I know that I have an introduction that I want to do, so I'm going to go find that and add that in as well. That I've uploaded an intro, an outro, and my 3 clips, I need to arrange these in the order that they're going. So you click on Arrange Clips and you can legit just drag and drop these bad boys and put them in the order that you want them. So I believe this is my intro, this is their spoken intro, the meat of the video, their spoken outro, and then the outro clip there. So now that I've got them in order, I'm just going to click on OK. And I'm going to take a minute and preview this and make sure this is what I want it to look like. I know that this is the order that I want my videos to be in, and now I need to actually trim some of the video so that any information that's in there that doesn't need to be in there is cut out so that my final product is exactly what I want it to be. So the first thing I'm going to do is click on the video that I want to trim, and I'm going to go up here and click on More Tools, and then I'm going to click on Trim Video. All right, so what this does is it brings up a toolbar that is just for the videos. And the thing that I want to go through really quickly is this time scale. If you're not exactly sure where you want to trim your video, you can move that time scale up and you'll notice that it breaks each second down into bigger increments. And so I've got a lot more information coming in for each of these. It just makes it a lot easier to be more precise about where I want to trim my video, or if I know exactly where, I can leave it at 1 and just go in there. So what I want to do is I want to figure out what information I want to cut off. And I know that for this video, like there's a screen of them like actually walking to turn the recorder on and turn it off. So I know that I need to trim some at the beginning and at the end of this particular clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to drag it. Now I know about where the first trim is. So because I previewed it and I just made a note of, I'm like, oh, okay, around 13 seconds is where I need to have the first one. So you can see I've dragged this out to like at 11.7 seconds. This way I can get an exact placement of where I want to drag it. Now notice that when I drag it here and release it, it shows exactly what's going to be shown on the screen. And it looks like she's about to start talking, so I'm actually going to back it up a little bit and you can see that it moves with them. So this gives me kind of an idea of what I want to do. Now I'm actually going to preview it from this point and make sure that right here at this exact point, which if I click on it, I can learn exactly where it is. I just want to make sure that this 10:58 is where I want to cut it. So I'm going to come down here and hit preview and make sure that that is where I want to do it. I actually decided that I wanted to do it here at 11.99 instead. And so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on Add Trimmer. Now, basically anything that is in the X'd out part means that that's what I'm going to cut. I want to cut everything from the beginning of the clip up to this point, so I need to adjust this to where it's not cutting out half of that clip. So I'm going to drag everything here, and then I'm going to drag it again. So now, instead of clipping out, they're cutting out the second half of it, I'm cutting out the first half of it. If I want to preview it and make sure that it looks like what I want it to look like, I can just click on preview. And there it is. All right, so I know that this is what I want it to look like. And so I'm just going to click on check, OK. It takes a minute to process it. And then it's just going to cut that bit out for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and I'm going to trim the second half of this clip. And then I'm going to trim the front and the back of this clip back here. Now that I have trimmed all of my video and have all of my clips in order, I'm actually going to add some sound effects to the beginning of my video. And so in order to do that, I have to come over here and click Edit Soundtrack. Now, you'll see this big sort of cursor that I can drag throughout the video and set pretty much anywhere. I want to actually set this at the very beginning for now. And then once I've added the first sound effect, I'll go in and add the second sound effect. So just a quick mention about sound effects. One of the places where I get my sound effects And also short copyright-free music that I use for the videos is a place called Zapsplat. It's ZAPSPLAT.com. Now you have to create an account from the website in order to be able to download, but it's free. These are all royalty-free, non-copyright infringed sound effects and music that you can add to videos that will not get flagged when you upload them to something like YouTube. So this is where I grab everything from. And I know you've heard, if you've watched any of my videos, you've heard some of the weird noises and music that I put in my videos. This is where those all come from. And another reason why I use this site is because I can actually access it from here at school. It's not blocked. So also a good tip for you to know. So I can just come in here and I've searched for coffee grind. And so I know that this is one that I use a lot since this is Cougar's Coffee Talk. I've already downloaded it, so I'm not going to do that again. But I just click on MP3 because that's the format that I want to download it as. And then once I have signed in, I'll just click on download and it will let me add it to my computer. All right, so all I need to do is click on Insert Music, and then Current Cursor Position. I've moved the cursor to the very beginning. And since I've downloaded it, it's going to allow me to choose local music files. So take just a second for that to upload. And then you can see all of the music files that are in my downloads. I don't have to move them out of my downloads folder because that's where it automatically goes. So I'm going to choose actually this one that says coffee machine because I want to hear it grinding. That's what that is. And then just click on open. It thinks a little bit, and then anywhere you see this green is where it actually adds it to my video. Actually trim your soundtrack by double clicking on the soundtrack and highlighting it. And then you're going to drag these little guys to where you want, like whatever you want to cut off. And I actually want to cut off right here. So once I've selected what I want to get rid of, I can just click trim and suddenly my soundtrack is shortened. And now what I'm going to do is actually add another sound from local music files again. And this is actually of pouring water, or it sounds like you're pouring a cup of coffee. So I'm going to add that there. And you'll notice that it's still a little bit long and runs over into the next segment. So I'm going to come over here and just trim a little bit off the front. And therefore my soundtrack is only within this first segment. Now you can see that I've edited my soundtrack in under this first clip. These 3 clips in the middle are all going to have their own sound because they recorded them. And then this last clip is just a chance to say, see you later. And so it doesn't need any sound or anything like that. So I am done editing my video. What I'm going to do is go back to the main menu. And the first thing I'm going to do is save my project. And I'm going to enter my project here. This is Cougar's Coffee. Whoops, I should spell it right. I believe this is their 4th one. So I'm just going to click OK. Then it's going to save it. It says project has been saved successfully. Now that I've saved the project, basically saving a project means that I've got all the pieces lined up, but if I want to come back in and edit it, I can do that and then export the video. But if I want to save video, this gives me the option to do that here. I always just set it to the settings that are default. Always do MP4. WMVs are hard to convert. And so I'm just going to click on Save Video from here. And I'm going to call this Cougar's Coffee Talk 4. It might be 3. I don't know. We'll find out when I go to upload it. So there we go. And I just click Save. And now it's going to package and code my video and export it to where it can be uploaded. Actually, will take a while. So if it spends, 15 minutes spinning, don't be upset. It's going to do that. It just depends on how long your recording is and how much stuff you put in it and how big the file is. So when you go to do this, just make sure you give yourself enough time. You don't want to try to shoot a video 5 minutes before you have to show it to your students, because you'll run out of time. That's just how that works every single time. Video finishes exporting, you're just going to come to a blank viewing screen. It's going to have the very first frame of your video. If you want to preview it, you can just hit play and preview the whole thing. What I usually do is just click back in case I want to go in and do more editing, or go up here and back all the way out of it. It already asked me where I wanted to save it, so I know I can open up that folder and access my video there. I am logged into my Campbell County High School YouTube channel. Any videos that teachers make that are meant for the student population are added to this channel so that students can subscribe and follow it, and anything that's meant for just you guys, I upload to my personal channel. So that's my choice. You do not have to have 2 different channels. I'm just kind of OCD like that and like to control what people see. But anyway, I'm going to walk you through how to upload a video if you have a YouTube channel, so you can see what that looks like. So from the menu up here, I just click on Create and click on Upload Videos. Now, I've opened the video that I want to upload in another file, so I'm legit just going to drag and drop it in, and it shoots it off into who knows where and brings up this menu. So I checked, and this is actually Cougars Coffee Talk 3. So I'm going to change that. And I'm also going to put information for seniors so that there is more, info about what this video is about. If you want to add a description, you can. So this video guides the class of 2021 through some important information. All right, and then my D key on my keyboard doesn't work, so let me go back and punch that in. All right, so once you have this information here, let me zoom out really quickly. Hope it's not letting me in this active menu. Okay, hang on just a sec. We'll do it this way. Well, that was awkward. But once you have the information you want, you'll see there's progress down here at the bottom, and it'll tell you that it's processing the video. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm not going to add this to any playlist, but I want to talk for just a second about age restrictions. This was a lawsuit that happened against YouTube a little while ago, and so now you have to designate whether every single video is made for kids. If I am making a video for students, I will say that it's made for kids. Not that our students are 13 years old and younger, but what this does is it just keeps harmful ads and or explicit content from attaching to the video. So if stuff that I make for you guys, I do not say that it's made for kids, but if it's made for students, even though they're technically not kids as defined by YouTube, I just click yes. And that makes sure that I'm not sending them like videos of stuff that I should not be sending them when the ads pop up and things like that. All right, so on the next page, if my mouse will start working again. All right, so on the next page are some options to add an end screen or to add like promotion cards. I never do any of these things just because I always set a thumbnail and call that a day, and I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And then on the final screen is where you get to determine who's able to view your video. When it comes to something that I'm publishing on the CCHS channel, that's public. students are able to see it. Whoops, I clicked private instead of, there we go. Students are able to see it, and we want, if parents choose to follow that channel, we want them to have access to all of that information. However, if I am publishing something for like just a small group of people on my other channel, I might click unlisted. And that just means that folks can't see it unless they have the link. It doesn't make it searchable. If they're following my channel, they don't automatically get that notification. That way, if it's meant for just a small audience, I can send that link and say, hey guys, see this, but no one else has access to it without that link. So I'm setting it as public. And then now that it has finished processing, and I know it's processed because I have a picture right here, I'm actually going to go back to the very beginning, and I'm going to choose a thumbnail. So your thumbnails that you are able to choose from are pulled from the beginning, middle, and end of your video. And you can also upload your own thumbnail. And typically, I have the opportunity to choose this very, the Cougars Coffee Talk as one of my thumbnails. But if I'm not able to, I'll just click Upload Thumbnail, and I'll pick this picture. So that's the thumbnail that they always see. Basically, a thumbnail is when you've embedded the video or linked your video in, you will just see the picture. This is the picture you see before you actually click on it. So now that I've chosen my thumbnail, I'm going to click Next, Next. And then now that I know that I've got everything chosen, I can just click Publish and wait for my video to upload. All right, so now it's there. I have a link that I can share with folks. If I click on this little symbol right here, it copies the link. So I'm going to do that. And then once I'm done, I can just click Close. And you can see that your video is public. It does say it's made for kids. It shows it's when it's published on November 16th. That's today. And then if I want to, I can go back in and edit it. I can get the link, all kinds of things. So that's how you upload a video to YouTube. And basically, I'll take this link and send it out to all of you.